Hi, it's Phil Hendrie. It's time now for episode number 185 of the Classic Podcast for our Backstage Pass holders. And we go back to the month of May 2001 for this. Jay Santos and the Citizens Auxiliary Police are reacting to changes in cell phone laws. And the changes, of course, in cell phone laws at that time had to do with safety. And there were a great many changes taking place. One of them, of course, you can't use a cell phone while you're driving a car. That's now law here in the state of California as well as other places. Well, back then, Jay didn't quite get it, and he thought it had to do with other kinds of safety, like, ruined marriages. What are you talking about on your cell phone while your husband's at work? So Jay decided he would monitor cell phone conversations with the predictable result: people reacting to Jay and the Citizens Auxiliary Police violating their constitutional rights, left and right, while he's trying to so-called save lives. So let's listen to Jay Santos. Jay's voice, inspired by so many of those marvelous Baltimore accents that I've heard over the years, including one specific accent I heard on KFI radio on a weekend once. And also the movie Sugarland Express, where I saw depicted some of these self-appointed vigilante-type neighborhood cops. It all means Jay Santos, the Citizens Auxiliary Police here, and episode 185 of the Classic Podcast. Right now we have on the line with us, where is Jay Santos? Where's his radio room? Oh, okay, well, it wasn't punched up. Oh. Jay, you there? Well, okay, well, we don't have Jay. Jay, are you there?
I'm sorry, Phil. We were trying to coordinate a couple of different things with some of the officers out in the field right now.
All right, Jay Santos, Citizens Auxiliary Police. There are a lot of laws being considered now banning cell phones.
That is correct, yeah.
Have you heard that?
I have read a lot of that. Yes, I have.
And you've read about the cell phone ban, and what is this based on? Safety?
Well, I think it's understandable. We've had the wake-up call on cell phones for a long time, Phil, the wake-up call in many communities. A lot of them are banning them with good reason, because other than emergency communication, there doesn't seem to be any reason to use a cell phone. We know that many communities do not yet have these restrictions, but we're anticipating them. And we want to get people used to the idea that you can drive a car without talking on a cell phone. And
to that end, you guys in the Citizens Auxiliary Police, now just as you guys are volunteer police officers.
That's correct, yes.
But you rely upon the constitutional right to a citizen's arrest. So you don't really carry a badge.
We don't carry a badge. What we like to say, Phil, is we do walk softly. We carry a big stick. We see ourselves as an adjunct or an assist, if you will, to the police. We do some flare drops. We do some traffic control. And certainly when a situation like this arises that cell phones are dangerous or what have you, well, we like to think we're on standby for the safety of the community.
All right, well, cell phones now being banned in a lot of different communities. Where does the Citizens Auxiliary Police come into this?
I think, first of all, Phil, it's kind of a philosophical thing. If I could take you back, I remember when I was a boy, my father and my mother kissed each other goodbye in the morning, and then they saw each other again at night, and they hadn't spoken a word all day, and that was good enough for them. And they'd be talking at night about how their day went. Today, I think what you've got with a lot of cell phone users, especially a lot of women out there, they're worried about their marriages falling apart or nervous about their relationships falling apart, and you see a lot of these housewives that are on a cell phone with their husband trying to make sure they're in a good space. My wife has a very dear friend, lady actually doesn't live in our community. She lives down more in Palos Verdes, and she is constantly on the phone with her husband. Are you in a good space today? And trying to work out their marriage and all of this nonsense. And I've got so many marriages that are on the rocks right now.
Are you saying there's a lot of people on cell phones trying to salvage their marriages?
Well, I think a lot of it is that.
There's a lot of insecure relationships?
I think a lot of it is that. There's a lot of people driving in the car, and they're talking on the phone to a therapist or a head shrinker. I remember when I was a boy, my parents were very happily married. I've got a very strong marriage. My wife and I don't need to be talking all the time. You know, it's sort of, psychologists call it anal compulsion, because it has to do with your butt, because that's what the anal thing is. And
I understand that. I know what that is. A Freudian term, anally compulsive, someone who is constantly...
Yeah, so it's like always with their finger in their butt, I guess is what that means. But really what we're talking about here is getting these people off the phones and getting them back to, if you're insecure in your marriage,
Well, certainly there are people on the phone for a variety of reasons.
That is correct.
Okay, so they're not just on the phone trying to salvage their failing marriages, or they're trying to find out if their boyfriend's in a good space. They're on the phone maybe with an emergency, correct?
Well, we have no problem with emergency call, but probably fewer than 5% of all cell phone calls are emergency. These are people who are on the phone having a conversation about horseback riding lessons, or is the furniture there yet, or I don't know. And most of them are driving with one hand. Now, other than police and the Citizens Auxiliary Police officers that I know, I don't think it's safe to drive with one hand. And so what we will be doing in the next few months in anticipation of these cell phones being banned, Citizens Auxiliary Police is traveling the roadways. We have large poster signs that read, hang up, hang it up. And when you see a Citizens Auxiliary Police officer, I can speak to your audience right now, Phil.
Go ahead.
When you people out there see a Citizens Auxiliary Police officer with a poster sign that we put up in the window of the van that says, hang it up, what we like to say is, don't ask why, just do it and don't cry. Hang it up and arrive alive. And you'll be expected to terminate your phone conversation.
Okay, now you're going to get the question, what if I don't? You're not a police officer. You don't have what if they don't terminate their phone conversation?
If they do not terminate their conversation, we're in the process of installing some monitoring equipment. We can interrupt the call, and we can tell you this is the Citizens Auxiliary Police. Please terminate the phone conversation. If you do not, and the phone conversation is, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of juicy, we can roll a tape on that.
All right, so you're taping people's phone conversations?
If it's a little juicy, a little thing maybe you're not supposed to be saying, if it's not juicy, then obviously it's something we're not going to want to record.
What do you mean by juicy?
A little kind of something juicy, talking, maybe you got a boyfriend you shouldn't have, you got a girlfriend you shouldn't have. These are things I don't think people want us to hear, so we put hang it up, and you're going to hang it up.
All right, Citizens Auxiliary Police, Brigadier General Jay Santos with me at 1-800-449-8686. With a lot of communities banning cell phone use, you guys are out there in anticipation of this with a sign that says hang it up.
That is correct.
And you don't have any enforcement capability beyond that.
We do not have any enforcement capability beyond that, but we do, once we get some of this monitoring equipment installed, we can begin to monitor some of the phone calls that are out there and see what some of these people are doing. I can guarantee you that you're not going to be having no juicy conversation. And
I want to get back to just one other thing before we go to our break. And again, Jay Santos is a Brigadier General with the Citizens Auxiliary Police. You guys do not have any official arrest capability.
Well, I sort of wish you'd stop hitting that.
Why?
Well, because I think that sort of undercuts our authority. No, we can't arrest, but we can, when we're there and when you see our blue armband and we wear a white pith helmet with wingtips and Bermuda shorts, and you see the blue armband of Citizens Auxiliary Police, it causes some people's colon to, they might lose their mud a little bit. And so what we're trying to do is...
All right, well, they may lose their mud, as you put it, or they get freaked out by it, but you guys can't arrest. You can't even legally monitor their phone conversation, can you?
Phil, what we're doing is we're not going to legally... We're not monitor or anything like that. I'm not going to do anything with the tape. If it's juicy, I'm just telling you, if you're having a juicy conversation, you're not going to want us to listen in on it.
So it's sort of almost a threat of blackmail?
No, absolutely not. It's against the law.
It's just that if I'm having a conversation with the maid who I'm having an affair with, I wouldn't want you guys hearing that, so I'm going to hang it up.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
1-800-449-8686. Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police. Just in case you didn't hear, Governor George Pataki, for instance, of New York State, has proposed a statewide ban on driving while using a handheld cellular phone. A move other states are also considering amid concerns about whether chatting drivers are more easily distracted and more likely to crash. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show.
One 1-800-449-8686. And now more on The Phil Hendrie Show.
Well, really what I'm talking about, Phil, is that, when I was a little boy...
Right.
My father got a package at our doorstep. And this was addressed to my father, and this came from the U.S. mail. And when he opened it up, it contained pictures of my mother.
And what was she? She was in a compromising position?
Yes, she was. She was having sex with another individual, and it was very graphic. And I've never forgotten that. And I realized that I guess you could say that's the fruits of a failed marriage. You got to work hard on your marriage, and don't think you're going to do it on a cell phone. And because I can tell you right now, if you're on a cell phone and we put up our poster board that says hang it up and you stay on there and a conversation juicy, if we were less than scrupulous people, maybe your husband would be getting some juicy pictures of you.
Well, what are you talking about? Are you talking about blackmailing people?
No, Phil, I'm not. I'm just saying, just understand that these conversations can be monitored.
Well, implicit in that was a threat that you would monitor them, but let's take a phone call here. Brigadier General Jay Santos, Citizens Auxiliary Police. Carolyn, hi, you're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Yeah, my big deal is I understand you want to help the police and all, but you keep talking about the conversations themselves, okay? How about the fact that it's just bad to be driving and talking because a lot of people can't walk and chew gum at the same time?
Well, that's a good point, Carolyn. And one of the things we found out is a lot of people can't drive with one hand. They need both hands on the wheel.
Yeah, that's true. And as a matter of fact, I'm
but
on
they're
my
having
cell phone.
some juice.
But my big point is...
Well, you're on a cell phone right now. See, I've got a dilemma right now. And my dilemma is I'm talking to you, and I want to talk to you, but you're on a cell phone. I almost feel like you're violating me somehow by talking to me on a cell phone. You know, because you know how I...
can't be violated unless you put yourself in that situation.
Well, you know how
you're on the radio.
You know how I feel
about it. You put yourself out there.
But you know how I feel about it, and yet you went ahead and just called me up on a cell phone.
Well, did you not want anybody to call and comment about your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, what are you going
to not call at all?
Carolyn, the laws are not, I mean, they're proposing the laws, Jay, in a lot of states, okay, and obviously it's not illegal where Carolyn is.
Well, it just feels like, I don't know, yeah, I've never been in jail, but it's like a jail rape or something, because I happen to be a Citizens Auxiliary Police officer.
Okay, what's, for one, I believe this is kind of an ego
jail
for
rape?
you to be calling yourself a brigadier general, okay? A brigadier general of an auxiliary police thing. Okay, if y'all really want to make a statement, and I'm not downing your organization, just the fact that you want to deem yourself a brigadier general.
Oh, I am a brigadier general. We got Major Elvis Newton is the commander of the Citizens Auxiliary Police in the 5 different chapters we have.
Well, that's fine, but I'll tell you what else you can do that'll serve the public a whole lot better, and I'm not saying cell phones are bad because... You know, yeah, I'm talking on one on the phone, but if I got in a bad traffic situation, I'd throw it in the floorboard in a minute.
Well, here's the whole deal. For you to call me on a cell phone is like you slapping me in the face. I know you didn't mean to do it. But I feel like you've lubricated a broom handle.
Oh, come on, man.
No, trust me, if I was going to do that to you, sir, I wouldn't even lubricate. But anyway... The main point I'm trying to make is if you want to do something to help out the police because you call yourself a Citizens Auxiliary Police, why don't you park yourself on corners near schoolyards, near crossings, and try to help the police catch some of these freaks picking up kids?
You're kind of a tomboy, aren't you?
A tomboy?
A tomboy?
No, sir, I don't consider myself a tomboy. Why would you say that?
You know what I mean by tomboy, right?
I'm assuming. Why would you say
Well, what do you mean by that?
You just sound a little, like you said you wouldn't lubricate the broom handle.
Okay, Carolyn, thank you. What are you focusing on that for?
I was monitoring that conversation, by the way, Phil. And
what were you doing?
I was monitoring that. We were using the monitoring equipment to monitor that conversation.
You were monitoring the conversation you were just having with her?
That is correct.
Well, of course you were monitoring it. You were on the phone with her.
Yeah, but we were using it. So what are you saying?
You were using your monitoring equipment?
Right. Eddie, were you on that? Yeah.
Well, what do you need to do that for? You could have just rolled a tape on the phone that you're on.
Eddie, Phil says we could have just rolled a tape on the phone we're on.
What is he, a moron? He doesn't know that either? Here is Houston on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hello?
Houston, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was just the guy that's got the guy with the cell phone and the marriage with his parents and the problems with his mother and the pictures and all this kind of stuff. Sounds like he's got a personal vendetta running around in his head.
I want to ask you just a flat question. Do you use a cell phone in public?
I'm using a cell phone right now in public at my dry cleaner, which I dialed in the car.
What's the point? See, once again, you call me up. That's like violating me in a holding cell.
What do you mean?
You know how I feel about cell phone. What do you find so funny?
Well, what I find so funny is that it seems like you have a personal vendetta against everybody using a cell phone because your parents' marriage wasn't successful.
No, I'm saying you know
your position in this.
It's Michael, right? It's Michael, right? Okay, Michael. Most of these women that are out there, you're a man. I understand you need it for business. Most of these women are out there on a cell phone trying to save their failing marriages, trying to save failing relationships.
I completely disagree. I don't see how you can make such a broad-handed statement
a lot
like
of these women during the day, a lot of these housewives don't work. They're calling their husband. They're having some kind of a nervous breakdown.
Oh, my God, what century were you born in?
No, what century?
All these housewives that don't work. I have male friends who stay at home who take care of the children, and the wives work. And where are you coming from?
A lot of these people are trying to save marriages. They're trying to, are you in a good space? Can I talk to you right now?
What does that have to do with using a cell phone in the car?
Well, my point is
why they're talking on the cell phone.
So what are you saying, Jay? You're saying there's a lot of frivolous conversation?
A lot of unnecessary conversation. My mother and father got along fine. And
your mother and father got along fine until your dad received pictures of your mother.
That is correct. That I cannot argue with.
Okay. Do you suppose if your dad was talking to your mom on a cell phone that your mother wouldn't have been out having an affair?
I do not know the answer to that. And I just know it hurt me very deeply. My father getting pictures in the mail, black and whites, of my mother in every conceivable kind of sexual ruse. And I think it's tough.
I feel for you in that respect and everything.
For an 8-year-old boy to find them, too, because he left them laying around.
Well,
okay,
that's between you and your
that's
father.
The whole thing,
that's
yeah.
Not between that's not between
right.
you and the rest of the cell
very,
phone
very
world.
It's very personal stuff, Jay.
Huh?
I say that's very personal stuff.
It is personal
stuff. I understand that.
Well,
let's get back to these women who call their husbands 30, 40 times a day at work, interrupting a man's work, making it hard to get work done. This is what I'm talking about, Michael. I'm not talking about you. But right. I would wish that if you call me from your home.
It just seemed like some of the statements that you made couldn't wait till I got home.
I understand. It just feels like you just took off a rubber glove and just went ahead and just nailed me right across the face with it. And yeah, ha-ha. But that's how I feel.
All right, look, Michael, thanks for your call. I know that you're in the dry cleaners right now, so there's people calling from all over the place. 1-800-449-8686. This is Russ on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Yes,
yes, sir.
I just wanted to comment about this individual, about the cell phones. I think somebody like him is extremely combative. His techniques are very combative, and I tell you what, if he ever came up to me when I'm driving and told me to put my cell phone down, he'd get hurt.
No, hold on. See, you're already overreacting. We put a sign up. We put up a sign in a window.
You're stepping over the line, and
we put up a sign in a window.
Your technique is combative.
You don't want to hear what I got to say, but I didn't walk up to
anybody
and tell him to put the phone down. We put a sign up in the window that says "Hang it up."
I heard earlier that you would go in and I guess tap their phone and record.
No.
I don't know who you think you are.
What we do is we do have phone monitoring equipment, and we put up a sign in the window that says "Hang it up." First of all, this is done in a car, Phil.
All right, so you guys are mobile.
We're mobile. We see this guy. What's your name, Russ? We see Russ on the phone. I'll put a sign up in the window that says "Hang it up." If Russ looks over at me and stays on the phone, then maybe we can tap into that conversation he's having.
Well, I tell you, I'm
Russ,
in sales.
It's a little juicy.
I'm in sales, and I have to use a cell phone. And I'm telling you, if somebody like you came up to me and pulled that stuff,
my father was in sales.
You'd get hurt.
My father was in sales, and my father was in sales, and he didn't need a cell phone.
What did he sell? Toilet cleaners?
Well, this is back in the day when they didn't have cell phones.
I sell something completely different, very
high
tech. I'm on call 24 hours a day, and I have to have a phone. And I'm telling you, if somebody like you tried to interrupt my income,
we're monitoring your call right now.
You'd get hurt.
We're monitoring your call right now.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
I really don't care. I'll tell you what,
care?
You come near
I'm monitoring your
you're
call.
You're going to get hurt.
Well, I'm monitoring your call right now. What are you going to do about it?
All right, gentlemen.
No. He started it. I'm monitoring your call right now. What are you going to do about it?
I really don't care if you're monitoring my call. I'm talking about the fact that what you're doing, trying to get people to stop using their cell phones when they need them. I admit there are some people out there that maybe are not as coordinated and shouldn't be using a phone.
Well, how do I know
everybody?
How do I know you are? Let's talk about you. Can you drive with one hand?
I could drive with zero.
You can drive with 0 hands. What do you drive with?
I drive with a hand. What's your point?
Where's your other hand?
It's on his phone, okay?
All right.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
That's
where else would it be?
Good question.
So what's your point? You're trying to make a point. Make it.
I just made my point.
No, you didn't make a point.
Yeah, I believe I did. I don't think you're listening.
You didn't make a point.
You got one hand on the wheel, one hand on the phone. Where's your other hand?
One hand's on the steering wheel, one hand's on the phone. What is your point?
Where's your other hand?
What do you mean, where's his other hand?
Are you dense? Are you dense?
You said one hand is on the
one hand on the wheel,
one's on the phone.
one on the phone. What do you mean, where's his other hand? Oh, man.
All right, gentlemen, you guys want to make a laugh. No, you guys want to make a joke about it.
You guys abandon what you're doing.
That's fine. You want to make a joke about it.
And it's inappropriate, and it's just out of line.
Yeah, you want to make a joke about this, people will die, Russ, and you'll probably, you kill a kid, it's on you.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. One hand on the wheel.
Right.
One hand on the phone.
I just wonder where the other hand is.
What other hand? Has he got three hands?
No, everybody has two hands.
One hand on the wheel.
Right.
That's one. You there?
I'm right here, Phil. I don't need to be yelled at.
Okay, one hand on the wheel. That's one.
Right.
One hand on the phone.
That's one.
That's two.
No, you said one hand on the...
1 + 1 = 2. Where's your other hand? 1-800-44... Or is that 2-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.
One 1-800-449-8686. This is the Phil Hendrie Show.
With Jay Santos from the Citizens Auxiliary Police Substation in Hawthorne, California, as he talks to us about monitoring people on cell phones. Some states taking measures to eliminate altogether people using cellular phones in cars. And you are out on the highway with the Citizens Auxiliary Police basically letting people know they ought to hang it up. You've got signs that say hang it up. You've also said you're monitoring some of those conversations, or you're installing that kind of equipment. And what about the headset? What about the non-invasive, but what about the seemingly safe use of the headsets?
Philly, could you repeat that? We had a call coming in.
What about the headsets?
Those headsets will clip on.
That's correct.
That are hands-free.
That is correct.
All right. Those headsets are for official use only. Originally, when we saw people wearing those headsets, they were dispatchers, generally people who worked in air traffic control towers. The police used them. We at the Citizens Auxiliary Police used them. Somewhere along the line, the people at McDonald's thought they had the right, and the people at Jack in the Box, too, had the right to utilize official equipment. I don't know where that started, and certainly we're looking into it, and I know many state agencies are looking into it. But
what do you mean McDonald's?
If you go to the drive-thru at McDonald's, sir, you see the person who takes your money is wearing an official dispatch headset. That is, we do not agree with that, and we do not agree that people should use those in their cars. It's for official use only.
Well, I don't know. I mean, a guy at McDonald's is using it so he can take your change.
That is totally the use of law enforcement equipment.
Okay, 1-800-449-8686. This is Fred on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello?
Jay, why don't you get a real job and keep your nose out of other people's business?
Listen, I'm not putting my nose in any business that isn't already the province of most states who are considering this.
All right, what's the difference?
So, what are you going to do, Fred? You don't have to have me tell you. What are you going to do when the state tells you, like a highway patrol officer tells you got to stop using your cell phone?
Well, when it becomes a law, I'll consider it then, but you don't have the right to go out there and tell anybody to do so.
If I pull up next to you in a Citizens Auxiliary Police Suburban and I put a sign in the window that says hang it up, what are you going to do?
I'm certainly not going to hang my phone up for you.
And if I start monitoring some of your conversation, it gets a little juicy.
That's against the law.
Well,
I don't have juicy calls on the phone line anyway.
You do not what?
I don't have juicy telephone calls anyway.
So you'd like all of us to believe, is that correct?
You know what?
Let me tell you something, Fred. When I was a young boy, my father received a package with 8x10.
I heard that garbage. Go tell a psychiatrist because we could care less.
You call the trauma that I suffered as a child garbage. How'd you like to get a package of 8x10s?
Maybe you should go out and sell them. You know, you like all the rest of the bedwetters in this country attempted to dictate what other people do.
Buddy, you get a package of 8x10s with pictures of your wife. I don't think you'll find that funny.
And
Well, who's going to be taking those?
Who told you that headphones were law enforcement official equipment? Who told you that?
I'm sorry?
I said, who told you that headphones were law enforcement official equipment?
I'm talking about the ones they use at McDonald's.
They have headsets for cell phones now.
And I say that those should be made illegal. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
because my point is that those headsets could make a person, it could be safer for someone to drive being on the cell phone.
But they are not allowed to use those because those are for air traffic control and police use only. And you call me a bedwetter. I'm out there trying to save your life.
You're not trying to save my life. I don't need you to save my life.
You go to McDonald's, you see a headset on, and you don't get confused?
Confused about what? I don't get confused. Maybe you do.
You know, you're laughing a lot, Fred, and I'm wondering why you're laughing. Is it nervous laughter?
Because you're a joke.
I'm a joke trying to save lives.
You are a joke.
Trying to save lives. You go to McDonald's, sir, and you see a girl taking your money and she's wearing a headset, and you don't think you're talking to a highway patrol officer.
All right.
No. I feel like I got to lay off the cigarettes.
I know. It's 1-800-449-8686. James, you're on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hi. This guy really intrigues me. You know, it's interesting, officer, brigadier, general, whatever you are.
Hey, James, when you go to McDonald's and they wear the headset, that doesn't remind you of a police dispatch?
Not at all, because any type of officer that's ever stopped me has never had one of those on.
No, but the police dispatch officers you've seen in the TV.
That's TV. That's TV. You get out of the make-believe world. You know, how many secretaries use that to answer the phone?
How many people, let me ask you something, how many people who work the drive-thru at McDonald's are talking down a burning plane or requesting extra cheese on a quarter pounder? Okay?
What difference does that make? That actual headset on a cell phone is for safety reasons.
That is correct, but...
Okay, well then that's the way they should be used.
It's too official looking.
First of all, you know what, I've been listening to you for about the past 20 minutes or a half hour.
That's correct.
And you really...
According to our records, yes, you have.
I can understand you have been traumatized by these pictures, but you're trying to make every conversation by a woman on a phone like their marriage is in problem. You know what? Maybe your parents had a problem, and, you know, that's for you to deal with. It's not for you to try and enforce your non-authority on everybody.
Well, James,
it's ridiculous what you're doing.
The morning ever arrives in your house when you get a manila envelope dropped at your front door, and you pull from that manila envelope 4 or 5 black and white glossy photographs of your wife on her hands and knees.
So, you know what? Those are your personal issues you need to deal with.
And that isn't a guardian angel standing behind her. Other drivers may see you using a headset and misconstrue you as a law enforcement officer. What would you do then?
Those are your personal to deal with.
No, wait a second. If you're wearing a headset...
You have too many problems with that, trying to push that on everybody in this country.
James, if you're wearing a headset and someone confuses you for a law enforcement officer, there may be a hostage situation. A child may be rescuing. They see you wearing a headset as you drive down the street. They ask for your assistance in retrieving a hostage. You could be put in peril.
Wait a minute. Wait a second. You know...
sells those things.
I don't care.
Wait a second. This guy's driving down the street wearing a headset and suddenly wants him to negotiate a hostage release?
I'm just saying it's possible. And
it's not, you got to be a complete and utter idiot to think that a guy wearing a headset at McDonald's taking your change should be talking down a burning plane.
I've seen a lot of worse mistakes made, I can tell you that, Phil.
Jay Santos from the Citizens Auxiliary Police. And at least New York is considering outlawing. And I saw a thing on television last night where a car was like mangled and a little girl was killed as the result, some people say, of cell phone use. And
no, it's not some people say. A lot of people say that.
Well, a lot of people may be saying that, but I don't hear a lot of people saying, and all these women are on their cell phone trying to save their failing marriages, and something about 8x10s that your father got, black and whites, and a guy wearing a headset that ought to be worn by a police dispatcher, and somebody thinks he's a cop and wants him to rescue a kid from a burning building. All of this stuff is way out there, man, and I hope you understand that.
No, sir, I think you're the one that's trying to understand we're up against law enforcement.
You want to say that in English now?
I said I think you're very rude, sir.
Just say it in English, okay?
You're the one that understands what we're up against in law enforcement.
Thank you. You said I understand.
I meant you don't understand.
Okay. Here is Kim on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello. Kim, hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
I think you're an absolute joke. I'm a woman business owner, and I use my cell phone so that I continue to be a working mom and take my kids to school and conduct business at the same time.
Totally meaningless.
I do not need a cell phone to be able to save my marriage. My marriage is fine, and your issue with your father receiving photos, that's nothing related to a cell phone. Cell phones weren't even around at the time.
Could I ask you a question, ma'am? What business are you conducting on a cell phone that is so necessary that you imperil the lives of other drivers around you?
$1 million business, sir.
That isn't my $1 million business. That's your $1 million business.
To my family,
but that's not bringing in the guy you kill.
A mom and not have to have a babysitter for my kids.
Ma'am, the man that you kill on the freeway is not your $1 million business.
I can be a mom.
All right, ma'am, can I say something? Your $1 million business isn't the man who you kill on the freeway. That isn't his business. Or the child you kill. That isn't their business. You wouldn't kill anybody.
On my cell phone.
No, of course not.
The issue is that I am more careful when I am
we're going to take your word for that?
Just like while I'm talking on the cell phone
Kim,
while I'm on the phone with you.
Kim, let me ask you something. Are we supposed to take your word for that? Is that it? Is that we're going to take Kim's word because she owns a $1 million? What is it, a dry cleaning business or something?
That you're a decent man and you're trying to save lives?
That's correct. You take my word for that.
You know what, sir? If you'd like me to take your word, then you're going to have to take mine.
Do you wear the headset?
The
you wear the headset?
You know what? Not everyone is a bad person.
You're wearing the headset. You're driving me nuts.
You need to work through your issues, sir.
All right, I have an issue. I understand. My father received 5 8x10 glossies of my mother on her hands. And
we got that already, man. We understand that.
Over it, sir. Over it.
All right, I have an issue. Now, will you admit?
Sympathized with your situation.
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
It is totally sympathetic.
All right, thank you.
But the issue is, get over it and find something else.
All right, I will get over that if you'll get over your failing marriage and get off the phone.
Dear, my marriage is not failing. My marriage couldn't be better.
Sure.
I travel all over the world with my husband.
Right. Yeah.
Believe me,
yeah.
How come he's got to take very well last night. We don't have to worry about pictures coming in.
Yeah, it's people who have a fight always make love good after the fight.
Dear.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
Okay, look, Jay.
How come he's taking her all over the world?
Forget it.
Would you like to know something, Kim?
What?
We've been monitoring this phone conversation all along.
Good.
Huh?
Good.
We've been monitoring
it. What? Honestly, you don't know enough technical issues to be monitoring it. You haven't been monitoring anything.
Oh, we haven't. I know everything you've said.
It may be called the state police.
It's because you're talking. You're talking to.
What's that? So does what?
Highway patrol.
So does what?
These are the stories of the men whose training.
Everybody knows what I've been saying.
They don't
anyone
have
that's been listening to the radio station knows, and anyone could be copying
Bull crap, because they don't have my
connected to my cell phone, and I could be monitoring you.
They don't have our monitoring equipment.
They were listening on the radio.
Oh yeah, you developed it in your garage.
That's right. I developed my garage. It's monitored. You know something? I think you're an emasculating female, and I think you do have problems in your marriage.
I think.
Turn up the music so I can drown out this bitch.
Look at those pictures of your mother daily in your garage.
I can't hear you.
Many states are broken. A duly authorized organization swings into action.
Bitch.
It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the Rangers.
Are the Citizens Auxiliary Police.
These are the stories.
What'd you say?
I said you're the
have enforced and preserved our state law.
She's a bitch! She's a bitch!
Shut up.